Hi everyone, right now we will see Unity input action system in action. This is actually an opening and also make you know how basic Unity input action works. Basic is the most important, remember? You will see another input action tutorial with understanding after this. At least, I hope that what this video will achieve. So what will I share with you today? First, you will understand how input action asset, input action map, and input action related and works. Second, you will see all of these in action, and really, step by step. You can see your code works almost line by line and the result at the same time to avoid confusion. Third, an example on how to use key press or any button press if you're using controller. How to use values for control like dpad, touchpad, joystick, and also how to track mouse position using input action. Let's go! Create new project just for this and let's name it Input Action Learning. Choose 2D, project name Input Action Learning. Create project and let's wait for it. Okay, now it's done. Before we can do anything, we need to install Unity System Package. Let's do that. Go to Window, Package Manager, and choose Unity Registry. Find Input System and install that. And choose Restart for this. Okay, here we are. To make it easy, we will start from the smallest unit, which is Input Action. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, please watch this video first. It will boost your learning speed in this topic. As our player presentation, we can just use 2D rectangle. Let's create 2D objects, sprites, and square, not rectangle. Okay. Name it player. Create PlayerScript for it. We will play around in this script so much. So yeah, let's create that. Name it PlayerScript. Attach to our player. Open it. And you see it's not working. Sometimes you have a problem with this. I'm using Visual Studio Code. I don't know if you're using it or not, but if you have the same problem, just follow this step. Go to Window, Package Manager, in Unity Registry, find Visual Studio, and here install, and also the Visual Studio Editor, just press Update. Basically, we want the latest version, okay? And that's not all. It's just updating the package. Now we need to set the VSCode as our external tools. Go to Edit, Preferences, External Tools, and then here, External Script Editor, we can choose our Visual Studio Code. And to make sure it's working well, we can just press Regenerate Project Files. That's all. Close it, and open the script right now. Yes, you can see it's working. If you're not seeing something like this, maybe you haven't installed Unity extension. It is needed to working, so you can install it. Go to the extension and find Unity here. I already installed it, so I didn't have to install it again. But do this if you haven't. Okay, let's close this. I will turn off the GitHub Copilot for now. Let's remove update function. We will not using that for now. And to use the input action, we need to import using Unity engine.input system. And here, remember, we will start from input action. We can use serialized field, private, input action. See, here it has input action asset, and map. We will cover that three. Start from the smallest, which is input action. For example, I will name it action jump. Basically, I just use action as the prefix. Okay, save it and see what happened in the Unity editor. Click our player. And now in our script, you can see action jump that we created. And see this action jump. There's an icon like settings. It's our action properties. And here add binding and remove binding. So you can add your control right here. Let's start from the properties. In our action, there's action type, control type, and interaction processors. In action type, there's value, button, and pass-through. To make it easy, we will only cover value and button. Control type, there's so many things, okay? But we will cover it later. Remember, we want to start it simple. Okay, for jump action, I want using spacebar as our control. So we can change our action type to button. And it's changing. It's not control type anymore because it's already clear it's a button. And 2 here is interaction and processors. We only will cover interactions. Okay, remember, we want to use spacebar. We already defined our action type, but we haven't bind our key to our action. To do that, just click Add Binding right here, Add Binding, and in this empty binding, double click. From here, you can see all of the controls you can use. For example, keyboard, by location of key, and here spacebar, but you can also press listen and just press your key. For this, I will choose spacebar, okay? So I will press that, and it will show up as an option. Just press that. With that, binding key control to the action is finished. Easy, right? But how to define the action code when we press this jump? Let's get back to our PlayerScript. On input action, there's 3 events that you can subscribe to, which is started, performed, and cancelled. Don't become intimidated by this first. We will see it in action in easy step. And next thing you know, it's already in your nature. Okay, let's see action jump dot performed, started, cancelled. See, for its name, we'd better start with performed event, just because performed means it's done. In our jump action case, we already pressed the button. To be clear, press here means key down state in default. So on action jump dot perform, we want to call jump action. For example, we can do it like this and create void jump, but we need also the parameter right here. You can see it right here, InputAction.callbackContext. So just use that, InputAction.callbackContext. Let's name it context. You can just also print out what's in there. Okay, I give the name with capital character. Let's just use that in here. No. Let's just use lowercase. Save it. Let's get back to Unity Editor to see if it's working or not. Go to console, see it here, play, and press spacebar. It doesn't work. Why? It's because we need to enable this first. For each action, there's enable and disable, so we need to enable it first. We just need to call enable function. If you think why we need to enable this, or we can also disable this like that. Why? We want it working, right? The problem is sometimes we really want to disable a button or an action. There isn't an easy way, but this function gives us an easy way to do that, and it's quite flexible, so it's good. Now it's already enabled. Try it again in Unity Editor, play it again, and press spacebar. See, it happens when I press key down and press spacebar in key down state. Action jump, keyboard space, phase performed, time, control key, anything you want to know, interaction none. Okay, at least now it's working like we wanted. But this is happen when on key down state. Let's say if we want to make the jump works after we release the button or in key up state, how to do that? Basically, there's 2 ways to do that in our case. The first one is using cancelled event. The second one is using the interaction press and release only. Let's get back to our PlayerScript. I will give you example on cancelled event. We can just change this into cancel. Get back to Unity, and when I key down the spacebar, it doesn't show anything, but when I release, it's showing this phase cancelled. See, so it happens at release time. This is the first way. The second way is using interaction press and release only. Remember, in properties, we have interactions. Let's add it and go to the press. Here the default is press only, and that's what we got also in current button type action. To just make it sure it's working like you know, let's get back to the PlayerScript again, change it into performed again. Now we doesn't need to lock the context. Just say it jump maybe. We doesn't need complex information for now. And then go to the Unity editor again. When we play this, it should work like before. When we key down the press bar, it needs to print the jump. Okay, it's done. And when we release, it doesn't do anything. Okay, stop it and let's change the interaction from press only to release only. Press play again, and we already can see that the behavior is changing. Key down the press bar, key up the press bar. See, it happens on release. Now there's one more thing. If you see it in the interactions, there's trigger behavior, press and release. Let's see how it works. Basically, you already knew what will happen, but we still do it anyway. So you'll be sure that's the behavior. Press and release, play, press, key down, spacebar, key up, spacebar. See, it happened 2 times on key down and key up. Basically, press and release. Remember, both of these happen at performed event. We already see how it works. But the started event still in question, right? And to be clear, every event is questionable, right? When did it trigger? How do we know? Let's see one more example on normal interaction. We go back to our press event, so we can remove this because the default is press event, and see when the event triggered. Then we go to the detail. Okay, go to our PlayerScript, and then here I want to introduce you something which is inline function, because in this example we don't want to make things complex, so we doesn't need this parameter right now, right? We can just use inline function like this, and then type debug.log jump and remove this function. Basically what it's done is taking the parameter right here, and because we didn't need it, we can just give name like this. If you want to use it, you can just give the name context. And remember, we want to see when the event triggered, right? To do that, I will change the printout to be performed and create another for started debug.log started action jump.cancel debug log cancel. Okay, let's see what happened. Remember, this is key press and press only. Play it, see the console, and I will press spacebar, and in key down state, it triggers started and performed. When I release the button or key up state, it will call the cancelled event. Okay, that's the default. That's how event triggered based on our key press. Cool? Because we already know when all these events triggered on normal key press. Remember, press only is the default, okay? It's time to see cheat sheet for when events triggered on every action type and interaction. This is the Unity documentation. If you scroll down, it will give you a map when the event triggered. See here, this diagram, and open image in new tab. Here, see? It's a cheat sheet for your needs. Here's value action. Button action is what we use. Press only, release only, press and release only. This is what we've done before. So you can see that when we press, it will start it. Press value 0.6 is performed, and on release, the performed didn't happen on press, but it happened when released, performed and cancelled. See the difference? This is a nice guideline for us. For keyboard user, maybe you can ignore these threshold settings, and especially on press only. Don't confuse with it yet, because basically what you need to see is the press and release. Okay, that's the most important thing. If you want to see this diagram again or the Unity documentation, I will provide the link on the video description below. Just with this, I think you feel you already knew everything. Am I right? But actually, we are not even scratched the surface. But don't worry, because you really do already have the basic unit to move further now. Now let's try with another values. Let's say if we want to use keyboard like W, A, S, and D for direction, or dpad, or touchpad, and also joystick. For this, we'll using action type value. Go to our player again. Actually, let's go to the script. We'll create another action, input action. This time is move, okay? Action move. Again, we need to enable it, so action move dot enable, then action move dot perform. Again, for now, we will just print out moving. Get back to the Unity editor. Go to action properties for the action move, action type value, the control type. Because direction is two-dimensional, of course you can use factor 3, but we doesn't use this here. Usually it's using factor 2 because this is x and y axis. That's it. And on binding, we have another option here. Add up or down or left or right composite. This is showed up because our action type. Let's choose this and bind our key. Again, we can just listen, press W, choose it. The same for the other. If you want more than this key, remember you can also use any controller, right? You can add another binding like that and just use the controller, for example. Here you can adjust to use gamepad, joystick, see, like that, and it's easy. And it will also trigger the action move. Okay, let's see how it works. Press play. I will type W, moving, as AD. It will print out the same message. And we will change it. Get back to our PlayerScript. Right now we will use our context. Let's print out the access that we get. Use context.read value, and here you will using factor 2, remember, because we set it as factor 2. Get back again to the editor, play again. Now press A. It's showing -1 and 0 on the y-axis. If I press D, 1 at the x-axis, W, it's 1 on the y-axis, and S, -1 in the y-axis. Remember that it also works for joystick. And what happens if you're using diagonal axis? Yeah, it also can do that, but in keyboard it will just show it like this. Let's see, I will press W and A. See, it will show us both of the direction. Let's clear it again and press it. There. It will work better if on joystick. How about that? We already learned the basic of Unity input action, and really the smallest unit, input action. Now we can cover about input action map. Again, we're playing around with the script, so get back to our player script. Let's change this into map. Before we said that it's a movement map or gameplay map, whatever you want. Let's use movement map. Just comment out this first or remove it, it's okay too. Get back to Unity editor and see what happened in our player script here. It becomes input action map. What's the difference between input action map and input action? If you press plus right here, it will give you an option to add new action. Just like before, we can add it as jump, add another action named move. It's not that different, right? And See, we can add binding, but where's the settings button that there is exist before on the input action? Because we can't see it, we can just double click it and it will show up the properties. Input action button, and then on move, again we can change it into value, control type, factor 2, and for binding, jump, it's the same. Listen, press spacebar, choose it. On move we want to use up, down, left, right composite, so press this. We can just remove the empty binding. Again, setup like before. The setup is similar like before, but it's below the action map umbrella. Get back to our PlayerScript. Input action map, also like input action, it has enable and disable. So let's enable it using movement map dot enable. And how to access the jump action and move action? Because it's not a variable like before, we can just type it wherever we want, like jump and anything. We need to find it using find action. And what is the action name? For jump, we are using jump. And we can bind like before, use perform, debug.log jump, like that. It's the same for the move, perform, debug.log. Oh, sorry, we want to use this context. Context.read value, factor 2. That's it. Okay, let's get back to the Unity editor and play it. Can it work like before? See console, press spacebar, yes, it's working. A, W, S, D. It's working well, just like before, but it's on map. It's easy, right? Just use find action. Now let's move on into the Unity InputActionAsset. Again, we will change this into PlayerActionAsset. We can remove this to Unity editor. Let's see how's the UI. Right now it's different, right? It's like needing us to put the file to here. Yes, we can create the input action asset just like this. Right click, create, and see below input actions. Let's name it player assets or player control assets if you want. Okay, for now it's just player assets, it's okay. Just double click it. You can see just like before, action maps, action. Let's see, add action map. We can choose gameplay map, or you can also create map. It's like the example from before, but this is just an example, okay? For gameplay map, we will add it like before, jump and move. That's simple. Remove empty binding. When we click it, the action properties is right here. It's a little different, but still the same at the core. Action type as value, control type factor 2, add up, down, left, right. Yeah, you know the drill. Let's do that. And for jump button, in the empty binding also the same. You already knew how to do these two. Save it, close it, open our player, drag our player asset to here. And here it's the same, just like the map and action. We can also enable and disable this. The first step is to enable it. And how to access the map and the action? You already knew that we need to find it, right? So we can just find it. PlayerActionAsset dot find action map. We used gameplay map before, and then we can find the action. We need to do it every time, so we can make it a variable. Let's say input action map gameplay map equals this. And now we can just type gameplay map find action jump dot performed plus equal underscore, and then just debug dot log jump. Also the same as before, find action moving or move. I don't remember. Let's see. Move dot perform plus equal context debug dot log context dot read value factor 2. That's it. Get back to the Unity editor, play it, see console, and again it's working just like before. Nice. Easy, right? With this, we already discover the relation between asset, map, and the action. Now let's move on to the more advanced usage. See here that we need to find action map. We can avoid all of that. Just go to Unity editor. In our player asset, we can just generate C# class and apply. Now we have this player assets. We can change our script from this into real private without serialized field, and player assets, we will just use the same name for convenience, just like that. And now we can declare our gameplay map and jump move without to find it. Let's see. PlayerActionAsset dot gameplay map. See, it's already there. It's also the same for jump and move. Jump. But why isn't it there? It's because we're using InputAction map. It's a generic type, okay? So you need to change it into PlayerAssets dot gameplay map actions. This way we already can set as jump right there. It's the same as the move. Will it works? Let's see. Go to editor, and if you see in the player right now, we didn't need to put anything. Play, and when we press spacebar, WASD, it's not working. And why is that? If you remember, we refer this action asset to the player, right? So it already has the object. But in here, we just declare the type and the variable, and we didn't create it yet. So let's create it. The easiest way is just do this. Player action asset equals new player assets. And that's it. This is the most basic way. I mean in terms of usage. Because if we are talking about code placement, you may not to use it on start. But we will cover it later, okay? Go to Unity editor again. See console and press play. Spacebar, now it's working. It's all working like before. Nice. Now the last thing we need to learn is how to get our mouse position. It's important because we need to click and drag, choose an object and something like that. And you see we didn't use any update function at all. In some case, we still need that, even though we're already using the perform event and anything, and it just run out of the box. But sometimes we need to use something on update function. Again, we will not cover it in this video, but I will show you how it works with mouse movement. Go to project folder and in player asset, double click it, and here we can add action. Let's say it mouse position or mouse movement. It's up to you. The action type is value. Control type, again, it's factor 2. The binding, if you see here, we can find position. On position, there's mouse, virtual mouse, pen, pointer, touch screen, and anything you can see here. So it's already helping you. Just press this, save it, and close it. And it will automatically generate it on the player asset like before. Go to our PlayerScript. Right now we will play with it. Gameplay map dot mouse dot. Okay, it's still not detecting the changes because basically it's already there. What do I need to do here? Let's see. Gameplay map dot move position already detected right now. It's weird, right? Yeah, I know. Okay, that performed. Context, again the same, debug.log, context.value, factor2, and see it in action. Console, play, and it already detects our position. Remember that there is a screen position, we need to change it into world position. How to change that? We can refer our main camera, serialize field, private camera, current camera, just like that, and go to Unity editor, attach it. Attach our main camera to it. That's it. Get back to the script, and here we can convert it. Let's see, current camera dot screen to world point, and it's asking for factor 3. Okay, this is a problem, right? So we need more than inline function. You can also define it like this. Again, create new function, always an option. Get here the factor to mouse position equals here this context.read value factor 2, and then factor 3 mouse position equals new factor 3 mouse position 3D position dot x mouse position dot y and 0. Then we can make it into world point. Factor 3 mouse world 3D equals current camera dot screen to world point mouse position 3D, just like that. The problem is, I will show it to you right now. Let's debug it. Mouse world 3D. What? Am I missing something? Oh yeah, right. Because this is still an inline function, we need to use a semicolon right here. This is also one of the not convenient one. Anyway, you know it now. Get back to the Unity editor, press play, and it already works fine, right? Like this position, it's almost 0, 0, so it's accurate. But see the z-axis, it's -10 instead of 0. I actually don't know why is that. Seriously, I don't know. But it's converting depending on the screen to world, so yeah. But we can fix it easily using mouse world 3D dot z equals 0, just like that. Try it again. There you go. Now it's already working like we wanted. That's it. Basically, that's what I want to share about the basics of it. I hope this helps. If you have some requests or any question, just ask in the comment section below. In the next video, we will change our input action into new input action system like in this video. So you will learn much more than this. For example, click and drag for the ball, adjust the power using new input system. That's it. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. See you in the next video.